It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top-rated players in 2023. He just moved into Rivals top 30 now. And Cade Phillips, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Pretty good. Let's just get right into this because it's been a crazy year, but you're not sitting in a place where you're ranked now. People are starting to know you. All starting to get moving now. Just take us through how you're feeling right now.
It's been a great past couple weeks. Basketball's been going very good. I've kind of hit a very good stride going on with just offers and rankings, and it's kind of good for all the work I've put in to kind of come to fruition right now. But I'm still hungry, and I'm still chasing just the top spot and getting to the next level.
You being in 2023, it's been not really the favorable year. A lot has gone wrong for you guys, not having AAU, trying to get into this recruiting process. But as you said, you're in a state that you're able to play basketball. Just how's it been just getting back in that core and playing season?
We've been truly blessed in Alabama to kind of have a lot less cases than everybody else, which has allowed us to keep our high school season going. But we're almost nearing 20 now, which is just like a blessing. We did not think this was going to happen. We had senior night the first game of the year because we were expecting to make it probably 2 games, and we've taken all the precautions: masks on sidelines, masks on our face during games, hand sanitizer when you come off the court. So we're doing everything to make the season possible, and it's been just truly a blessing to make it this far and have this much of a season.
Your numbers so far have been off the charts, especially for you just being a sophomore. How have you started jumping into this role? You're developing, kind of being the focal point of the team. How have you grown into this role?
It's been tough. I've never been a natural scorer, but since I've started playing AAU, my AAU coach Julian Barfield just pounded it in me that I got to be a scorer to make a difference. And so I've just been working out in the gym, getting shots up, and I'm just working on my game and going through it and progressions and going through just in-game stuff to scoring. So that's why I've had a very big jump in scoring as of recently.
You're really bringing stuff on all sides of the game. You're constantly rebounding, you're passing, you're playing on great on defensive end as well. Take us through how you kind of just embraced being the all-around player.
You got to play at the next level. You got to be all around. So, but since a kid, I've taken pride in shot blocking and playing defense and staying in front of guards as a bigger guy, and that's something I really take pride in. And so I've worked on that as a kid since for forever, and just timing of blocks and working on lateral quickness and footwork. So I've really just embraced the role of being an all around player.
This isn't the only sport you play this year. You've also played football and another two-sport athlete. Take us through that. What's it like just balancing two sports?
I don't even look at it as a balance. I look at that they mesh together. A lot of kids these days play one sport and they don't understand what they're missing out on. I love football. I've made some great friends off of it, and but honestly, the physicality and the footwork of playing defense that I've been doing for a while has improved my basketball game. It's made me a better all around player, finishing through contact and staying in front of people who are smaller than me and quicker than me, and using angles and using just lateral quickness to get by people.
You on the football field, you're a guy that plays linebacker. You had a lot of tackles this year. Really had a really solid season for a sophomore once again. Take us through this season, though. How do you feel you did, and kind of take us to the ups and downs of the year?
We played 3 less games than we usually do, so my stats from last year might not have looked as good, but in the amount of time we played, it did do good. I was guarding a lot of people this year. I kind of had a little safety role, so the numbers might not look good, but I felt like we had an amazing season. I think it was the second best defense in the state.
Mm-hmm.
I took pride in that as being one of the leaders of the defense to kind of step up and just make plays when I had to.
We have to get into your family line because your family line is deep of athletes and all over the place. Your mom, pretty much the only basketball one, though. She played college basketball for Alabama. Then you have your uncle. Your dad played quarterback. Your grandpa played on the defensive line. This list goes on, just playing. People are just playing sports at the next level. All happen to be at Alabama too, but just what's it been like growing up in this?
It's been great. But my dad's never pressured me to play football or to go to Alabama. The school of Alabama. It helped my parents amazingly, and as a kid, I looked at it as pressure, but now I look at it as a blessing because my parents they give me the ins and outs of being a Division I athlete, and just kind of the little secrets almost, and the work ethic that goes into being a Division I athlete because there's levels to it. There's levels from being a great high school player to being a great college player, and they understand that as good as anybody because they've been there. So that's something I've looked at as a blessing as recently, and I might not have looked at it as a kid with the pressure that came with it.
With your mom, she played the game of basketball, so she kind of understands that aspect to it. How has she helped you through it?
She helps me through it, making me understand that there's more than just a physical side of the game. That there's a mental side that is looked over way too much. That's probably more important than the physical side.
Mhm.
Understanding that you got to be in the zone, be focused, and one mistake it doesn't define the game, and that it's really helped me in late game moments and allowed me to be a better clutch player.
I can imagine when you guys have family get-togethers that obviously sports have to break out at some point throughout your life. How do those games go? Do you guys ever play one-on-one, two-on-two in basketball? Do you guys ever play some form of football? How do the family games go?
Um, like competitive. Honestly, the most competitive time of the year is the Easter egg hunt. Easter eggs just spread out everywhere, and you gotta. I mean, they're getting older, but a bunch of good athletes, all about 6'4" plus, 200 plus, and just running at it 90 miles an hour and running into each other, and they get a little physical. So honestly, though, we don't play a lot of games together because honestly, that would probably end in fights and just get the competitive juices flowing a little too much.
We saw something a little bit ago and a couple times now where you're not just the only one in your family wanting to play basketball. You also have a little brother, seventh grade. He's playing as well right now. What was it like just having him come up and play with you guys at some points and just sharing the court with him?
Oh my gosh, it was. I mean, it was like a dream come true. I mean, he's got. I mean, as a seventh grader getting pulled up and I mean scoring 8 points in your first game. That's. I mean, that's impressive no matter where you are. And so I mean, it was. We've been talking about this as kids. I mean, we didn't get the alley oop that we've been dreaming of. We've been dreaming of that one of where he throw me a lob, but we haven't gotten that. But I mean, it was a blast. I was so excited. I mean, my brother's my best friend, just built in with me, and so just to have him on the court with me and share that time together. I mean, it was a blast.
Going forward now, you guys potentially, if you stay at the school for the whole 4 years, you guys could, I think, have your senior year together, if not even before that, if he plays up after eighth grade. But
Mhm.
playing together, you guys get a whole season together. What would that be like?
Oh man, it'd be great. He's still pulled up with us. So we just played a game and he against I mean a good Etowah team and once again a county rival. Bunch of big guys, guys he's not used to playing with, and he went out there and got great minutes. He scored, which is a big deal for a seventh grader going up against. But honestly, that senior year is something that we look forward to. I mean, he'll be a freshman, and the way he's playing right now, his freshman numbers might be insane. So
Mhm.
that's something we're really looking forward to, and something the school's probably really looking forward to as a whole.
Now, I know for some guys, especially when you get to the level you are, you're ranked high offers that prep schools, national schedule schools might start reaching out to you. Is that something you might consider or look at if that time does come someday?
Um, it's an option, but honestly, I'm gonna do what's best for my family and what's best for me to make it to the next level. And if prep school is that option or a larger school is that option, I'll take it in a heartbeat. But as of right now, where I'm at, I'm taking my own route right now. Going to a smaller school, and so I don't know. As of right now, it seems like the best fit for me is here, and not at a prep school and just taking the traditional route. But you never know. If something jumps out to me and it looks like a better option for me to and continue playing basketball for as long as possible, I'll jump on it.
Without a doubt. Well, probably the biggest thing for you right now is yes, the ranking is awesome, but it is college offers now, and you're getting a lot of them on the table. Just take us through the college process right now and how it feels to really start getting into this, really get into this process.
I mean, being in the class of 2023 and the sophomore class, it's strange. There's so many regulations, but it's been fun. I've loved it. I have to call the college coaches, and so it's made it interesting and has made it where I don't get as many opportunities to talk to other college coaches. But
Mhm.
I mean, I've been blessed to be at a young age for colleges to take a chance on me without having known much about me, and so I've just it's been a blessing, and it hasn't been the easiest with this COVID stuff trying to talk to college coaches, but it's been fun.
And we'll get into the college specifically in a second, but in the big picture, we talked about football already. Is being a dual sport athlete something that you might consider?
It's something I've considered. We just had a guy come out of Alabama who's planning on doing dual sports at Alabama and Quincy McKinstry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been an option for me, but honestly, I'd have to put on a lot more weight. And if I do, that option would look great. But as of right now, I'm being a basketball player.
That's awesome. Well, let's get into some of these schools. One is the obvious hometown team, runs in the family, Alabama, and that is something that anyone likes to do. Going, staying home, closer to the family. That's always a huge appeal. But Just the program in general, though. What do you like about them? What do you like about Coach Oates and what are they building out there?
I mean, what they're building right there. I mean, the short time Coach Oates has been there, it's incredible. They play a pro style offense with fast and getting shots up, and just having a lot of athletes. So what he's done there in that short amount of time is incredible. And as of right now, they just got ranked. I think it was 18th this morning, and so they've made big jumps, beating good teams in Tennessee and Florida and Kentucky and Auburn as of recently. But a lot can change in 2 years, so you never really know. But Alabama, what that program's doing right now is just incredible.
The obvious thing Terry said is staying home. How big would that be for you? Is staying somewhere close to home that's something that would be appealing to you?
I mean, it would be. It'd be nice to be close to family, but honestly, with playing sports in college, you don't have a lot of time off. So my
Mhm.
parents have always told me that there's no pressure to stay in state. That they're gonna follow me and cheer me on from wherever.
And the other part is just kind of following the family legacy. You know that your family name is kind of cemented in that legacy for Alabama. Being the next generation and going out there and following that legacy, is that something you would like, or would you rather even prefer maybe just going somewhere else and kind of creating a new legacy?
It honestly it's not, it hasn't really crossed my mind with the legacy. My dad, once I said again, has really never pressured me to go to school. He's always said be true to yourself and how God made you. And so if my route is not going to Alabama, I don't think it would change. It's going to be what's best for me is what my decision would be.
Now, in terms of Coach Oates, I'm sure you can talk to them, some of the coaches staff, but what do you like about them? What's the vibe and the feeling you get about Coach Oates and the rest of the coaching staff?
But they look like they have a very close relationship with their players, and I really like that. And the way they talk about their players, and it seems like they have a real love for those guys, and that's just something that you don't see with coaches a whole lot, especially at the college level. And it makes it seem like they really want what's best for them. So that's what I've kind of picked up on from talking to them, the little amount I have. But yeah.
Out of all the schools that have been showing interest in you, have offered you, maybe haven't even offered you yet, who are you talking to the most? Who's really you think when you talk to them, who do you really think is kind of recruiting you the hardest so far?
Once again, being in the sophomore class, it's hard. It's really hard to be kind of like talk to coaches and get relationships with them and kind of keep up with them. But Alabama, I've talked to a good bit. Middle Tennessee is another one. Vanderbilt has called me once, or we've called with Vandy once, and there's just a couple other schools that haven't offered and that have kind of talked to me. But once again, it's really hard to have a relationship with colleges at this young of an age.
Absolutely. Well, let's kind of go into the overall recruiting process when it does start up for you. What are you looking for in one? What's kind of the vibe of the school you really want? Like, what are you looking for in college when that time does come?
I'm looking for a college that wants to put guys at the next level, and I want a coaching staff that really just loves their guys and has a great relationship with them, and I want a school that's going to push me, and I want a school that I kind of want to be the guy at, and I want to take a college as far as I can.
When you talk about the coaching staff, that clearly is probably one of the biggest, not the biggest thing for any guy. What's kind of the dream coach would you want? I know some guys like one that is faith-based, some like them that are more older experience, younger, play style wise. What kind of makes up the dream coach for you?
Honestly, one that's just that like a good example would be Coach Cal. He gets fired up about his players every game. Just got the guy that seems like he has your back, wants what's best for you, wants you at the next level. Just a coach that's fiery and a coach with a good experience would always be great. But honestly, a coach that just I feel like has got my back is probably the biggest thing.
You mentioned like Vanderbilt, and they got someone that former NBA player and Coach Stackhouse, and that's the case for a lot of coaches out there now. How appealing is that to you? How much would you like being coached by someone that's ultimately done what you want to do someday?
That I mean that sounds like a great opportunity with a coach that's been at that level and truly understands what it takes to be there.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of in and outs when playing at a higher level, and for somebody that would already know that and would pass that on to somebody else, that'd be big for me. That's a big thing. So
Mhm.
that has crossed my mind is former player coaches, because they'll understand the ins and outs of making it to the next level into the NBA.
For a lot of people, since it hasn't been many games, or at least publicly viewed games for you guys, a lot of people don't really know who all these guys are in 2023 being ranked, but what can we expect from you? How would you kind of describe your game?
I'm gonna try to physically dominate you. I'm gonna block shots, and I'm gonna be a playmaker. I'm gonna make plays. I'm gonna score, and overall, I'm gonna make my team better. I'm gonna pass the ball, and like you said earlier, I try to make my game as round as possible. Every in and out of it, I try to perfect, and so you're gonna get a little bit of everything from me. I like to take the ball up, like to push the court, play fast, but even in a half court offense, I'll try to push my guys, and just a guy who wants to win is really what you're going to get from me.
Are there certain players that you watch to kind of model your game after or take pieces from and put into your game?
Honestly, a good one is Greg Brown, who just went to Texas this year, who's having a pretty good year in college. Just him being that long and tall and just physically dominating, but also can step out and shoot the ball and dribble around guys, and just that dynamic of attacking, always on attack, and then making plays on the fly. That's what he's been doing as of recently. I like to model my game after that.
Absolutely. Well, next time we might be able to see you with a whole lot of media around you will be when the EYBL comes back, when AAU is back, and we know you're going to run TSF. Take us through why you chose them and how excited you go out there and play with them.
I play with so I got to play one with them was I was on the Georgia Stars for a while as an eighth grade. I did get into the AAU game a little late. I got into it late eighth grade year, and we played them and had a really good game. And I got a call from them right before the Made Hoops National Championship, and that's just what they did that eighth grade year. Really everybody knows about that one. They were all over Slam High School. They were easily considered the number one team in the country, and so when you get a call from a team like that that's needing big, it's kind of hard not to turn that down. And I had known of a couple of their guys, and LT being a guy from Alabama, I knew him before. He's now in Georgia now, but so I'd kind of known of them, joined that team, but those guys are just great. The athletes they have there, and Kanaan Carlyle, Isaiah Collier, Brandon Gardner. So it's just a team that's stacked, and a team that just loves to play together and loves the sport, and wants to win. Ultimately, is what I think sets us apart.
This team, as you just said, is loaded. We talk about all these big time names, and rankings probably won't be adequate yet because we don't know what everyone can do yet. And you guys are special players. We see all you guys can be even higher than a lot of you guys are ranked right now. When you guys get together, though, you guys start that UIBL season. What can we expect from this team? How special are they?
You got two of the best scorers in the country in Kanaan Carlyle and Isaiah Collier, but they're also considered two of the best passers in the country. Mm-hmm. So when you have guys like that, and then you got two bigs in me and Brandon Gardner who are athletes, can dunk everything, can pop out. That's just a lethal combo of just two amazing guards and two bigs that really love to play. But once again, LT Overton, he's number one in the country right now, I think, in football, but he's something special in basketball as well. All the way down the depth chart, Taj Johnson, probably one of the top players in the Georgia. It's just a stacked group when you just go down through the list of names. But honestly, more importantly, we play well together. We match each other. And once again, two of the best passers at our guards, which is just one of the big thing for us.
You're 6'8", 200 pounds. You're probably still going to be growing too. How have you grown into this early on? As long as a sophomore have that body is hard, I can imagine. How have you grown into that?
I've had a dad we've worked out together for a long time. Just working on coordination and just working on being an athlete. Doing specific lifts for my body because as being my height, I'm not going to be able to deadlift or power clean what other kids my age are going to be able to do. So just specialized workouts that he knows, and it's really been able to fill my body out a good bit and allow me to keep my athleticism, vertical, and lateral quickness. So it's been a good combo.
You have a nickname that's in your bio, Bamaboy. Take us through how that started.
It started from probably, I think it was might have been an Instagram post last year, and I think I just gotten ranked the number one guy in the state of Alabama, and I'm one of the only guys. I think I might be the only guy who's playing out of state from the top 10 in Alabama, and so my coach kind of came up with that nickname in the Instagram caption, and it's stuck, and he's kept using it. People around here have kept using it, and I take pride in that because that's my state's name is in my nickname, and if I can wear that on my chest proudly, that'd be great.
The state of Alabama has some talent out there. We see some guys. There's usually about 2 or 3 guys in the top group each year, but we know it's predominantly known as football state. How have you kind of been able to start working through that and become a big time basketball player and really what is a dominant football state?
I mean, honestly, my coach in AAU just said do something special, and it's hard for people to ignore you. And so, I try to dunk everything, and I try to just get people's attention because if you're doing something special, you can't they can't ignore it. But also leaving the state to play AAU, that was a big thing that helped with exposure because the Alabama AAU program's not in a good place right now. I mean, I'm hope they're working on it right now, which is great, and it's moving forward with exposure, which is a good thing for the state for younger kids. But I just doing stuff special that people can't ignore is what I use to get out, like just get my attention out of the state.
Absolutely, man. Well, there's a few things I was like wrapping up with, one of which is discussing a legacy. And I know all guys want to create, kind of remember for something, create that legacy. So when you are done playing basketball someday, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be for what you achieve both on and off the court?
Honestly, I want to be remembered for just being a guy that people can look to and talk to, and just being an all around great guy. I mean, faith is a big thing for me and my family, and if I can spread the word to as many people as possible, that'd be a great thing. And I feel like basketball is my platform to do that.
Mhm.
And as of right now, that's what I want my off the court and legacy to be, is just a guy who was going to kill it on the court, but also was gonna be that guy who had your back. And was going to just preach the word to you every day. So that's a big part of my life, and it's going to continue to be a big part of my life, even though it's not the easiest thing.
Kind of just led me right into my final questions for you, though, and that's talking about faith. And we know there's some players and athletes that become really vocal about their faith. We see guys like Jonathan Isaac, Tim Tebow, Jeremy Lin, those kind of guys. And we know that sometimes there can be a lot of people that might criticize them, might go against that. But how do you plan to be able to stay strong when you get to those levels, even with people trying to go different ways and trying to tempt you different ways and maybe even downgrade what you're saying? How do you kind of plan to stay strong in your faith?
My parents have always told me that I got to be an independent thinker, and if I feed off of what other people say with about my faith, I'm gonna have a weak faith, and so I've really nurtured it by myself, and so I stand strong in myself and my word and in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
So if no matter what people say, I know I'm gonna be preaching the truth to others, and so if people downgrade that, it's not gonna bother me. And so it's gonna be hard. It's gonna take a lot to break if I can. So I've never really cared about what people say about that. I've always taken that my own path on that, and I'm planning on doing the same thing.
That's awesome. I know growing up as a Christian, we know that our families might kind of raise you when you go to church. You're kind of forced into it to a degree, but eventually to that point where you're kind of separating from that own bond with God, your personal relationship. When would you say that was for you?
Once again, I've been blessed to have easily the two best parents ever. Like a lot of people say that, but it's hard to get better than them. So I mean, at a young age, they forced me to just have my own relationship with him, not of what they're saying, not of what they believe, just for me to be in the Word and translate it to myself. And but they've helped me walk through it. So honestly, since as early as I can remember, is when that independent relationship with him happened. So I've just been blessed with two amazing parents once again.
That's awesome, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today, and I can't wait to see what God got next for you. Of
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
All right.